Okay, so the idea is the centers can just add the names of facilities that they want to demo in a given year. Okay, and that should start very similar to the feature that we have here. See this section right here?
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is to add that facility in the demo list. All the center needs to do is to find that facility. Get the find thing here and gets to this data, which is, by the way, is something went wrong here. I don't know what happened, but there was a way how to filter. Right now, there's no way to filter. So and the numbers went considerably high. I don't know why. From I know it's only 5,000.
Well,
I don't know why.
You have if you look at the status there, it looks like the query is looking at retired records as well as probably active records. So if you maximize that show, use that drop down of 50 to your right.
Sorry.
Up to the right, there's a drop down. That 50 just right there. Yeah, hit 1,000. And then what you'll want to do is just kind of scroll down once it displays again. Yeah, keep scrolling. And you see how there's some that are draft.
I'm in on the end of. Boy, let's go to the end here. Say 8.
And then refresh. Yep. So here's
okay.
Yeah. So these are all in draft status. So these are probably the ones you're looking for. But
okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm making notes on what you're talking about, so we can go ahead and keep going. Draft.
Okay. So all right. So there should be a what do you call that box? Filter box?
Yeah, the filter. Yep.
Okay. Where they could either filter by and God, this is all different because this is ID and I know there is a building number. ID is a unique number.
Go ahead and click on one of those. Just open one of those up. Yeah, click on that one. And so here's all the fields on the building. So you're probably looking for business, the property number. What are you looking for? Real property, unique ID. There's
property ID right here.
Okay.
Because this is the building number that they know more so than the name. Is it? Okay. No, it's property number right here.
Okay.
Well, we'll see here. See, it's right here. Property number.
Yeah. Oh, so you want all these fields that are down here?
No, not necessarily. What I probably want is the site name. At least on this form right here, where we could pick the.
Yep.
Okay, site name, property number, property name. That's it. For me to look at that to look at that facility. That's all I need.
Okay, easy enough.
Okay. All right. So and a filter. It was even set up. I don't know if it's still true that a center user can only see their facility at their center because you don't want a center put on the demo list somebody else's building. So us here at HQ, we see them all.
Right.
Okay.
So click on one of the ones that you know for sure is another center. Say any one of those. Go ahead and click on the diesel storage or whatever. Yeah.
This is probably Marshall
Okay.
or
Okay. So if you go to the system, go to the system tab. I want to show you what the system's working off of. You see here, this is Stennis Space Center. So anybody from Stennis will be able to see this record.
Yes.
Okay, so it's set up already where that's going to accommodate the different. Yep.
Okay, I know it was, but can you? I'm really surprised here. Can you? Maybe that's another conversation, but I see a lot of changes from the last time. At least I look at this, but I don't know how. But anyway, that's for another conversation. So anyway, so where were we? Right here.
Yeah.
Right. So if I was Stennis, if I know my buildings in the next 5-year plan, I'm just gonna keep clicking those buildings, right? And easy enough, and I would have a complete list of Stennis's building, what they want to do in the 5-year plan. Okay, and after I've done that, let's see. I may igloos are. I'm pretty sure these are glands. Okay, so do I just do okay?
Yep.
Okay, all right. All right, so I have this list right here. Okay, I'm not prepared right now to talk to you about what the fields would be, but we could start here, right? This field right here, but I would like to add fields here. The ones that we added, like for example, what year they want it to be in what year, in what demolition year they want it to be. Say this building, I want this to be in 2022, in 2024, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
And some other fields that I couldn't think right now. So
are you thinking the score fields that we put in there?
The score field, yes, that's a definite field here. So we'll see those. But I could give those to you later on. So and to me, for this portion, that to me that's done. That's done. It's just a matter of them telling me, okay, what they want to include in the 5-year plan. Okay, and I just have a once they've done this, they submit it, right? And then I just go in there just like any other project, and I say, okay, approve.
Yeah. So you said that there's lots of stuff that you want to get rid of. Do we know what those are?
Or here? This
No,
one?
at the top part. You still want the formulation to?
Oh, okay. Okay, hang on. Why is it not moving? Darn it. Why am I? Okay. um, see, yeah, most of this will be gone, except probably this one, or the year they want it to be demolished. Well, no. Okay, this is the year that they want it demolished. This is the year right here. This one is the year they put the request in, meaning if I put it in this year, this would have been 2018 and such. The demolition cost, right? And most of these can go away.
So do we want to redline this, go field by field, or just circle?
Oh, okay, I could do that. So, if let me just give me time to do it, so I could really put thought on it.
Okay, so I just have a quick question about the facilities can be demolished.
Uh-huh.
We're building all of that scoring on the other on the buildings, so I'm just kind of curious. Would they, or is that something that they would be familiar with? And if they wanted to, say for instance, are they the ones who actually populate the year to be demoed on there, or who does that? Like, do they ever go through their building record
Yes,
and start putting a demo?
the center.
And so they go into the system and they click on a building, they go to the RPMS tab, and they put the dates, the years in there.
Well, it's tell me which one is better.
Well,
Put it here on the screen, or
so
go to the record.
so once they bring it here, and that's kind of what I'm kind of asking, do they ever go to the building and update it there, or would they only do it here on a demo project?
I think the likelihood of them going to the building itself is probably a lot less than, meaning it's probably more convenient to them to put it to put the score here.
Okay, so if they bring the building in, would you want that field? And I have to look. I'm just asking these questions because I want to see if I can do it or not. You want that field editable through like an open text, and that way it's like an Excel spreadsheet right here for them, or is it you want them to click on it, open it, and then go to the RPMS tab? Because right now they would have to click on the link, open up the building, and hit the RPMS tab.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it would work today. But if you'd want ease of use, we could probably make it a field that's editable right here on the form, and they could just type it in.
It's probably better, yeah, if they type it in here.
Okay.
Rather than go to the building record itself, if that could be done.
Yeah, I have to double check the statuses of the records to make sure that I can allow that.
Okay.
All right. And so from the perspective of, the state family, the way it runs, it's okay to leave it as is right now and not, so they create draft and then they would hit formulation complete and then submit for funds and so forth, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's not, it's not too bad what we're talking about. The only thing we would need to identify, and maybe it's best to identify what fields you want left rather than the ones you want gone, to clean up this and then clean up the query, make it editable. That, to me, this one's not that big of a change. Some of the other ones that we've put out there are bigger changes. This one doesn't seem that big.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So the only thing there is the next step. When they submit it for HQ approval, it goes to me. I'm thinking my screen would be different than what it is right now, because they essentially submitted 5 years worth of project, as opposed to the current one. They just submitted a project at a time. We're approving, what we're approving right now in the current system is we're approving a single project at a time. In this one, I'm essentially approving all 5 years worth of demo.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but from the funding perspective, you want to be able to then do what from the funding? Create individual records for that funding?
Individual records?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is this, then. Once the formulation tab is complete, say I have okayed 100 different buildings in different year, right? In a 5-year span, okay? They would then go to the design tab, right? And ask for design money, and they would only be limited to the buildings that were approved previously. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I guess if you're approving certain buildings, the first thing you would want is, first, this is the list that you provided, and then
yes.
Next, another section that says these are the ones we approved, and only those ones show up. Maybe in the next tab, approved. So you'd have to do a couple of functions to say approved, right, on the ones you want, and then you'd probably want the cost for each building separated. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I think I got it. I think I understand. And then is there design funds? Is there going to be construction funds that are going to be segregated like that too?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I think yes.
Okay.
I'm almost tempted to say, Yvette, before we go deep in the conversation of whether design, what needs to be included in the design and construction, I'm thinking we need to, at least get the formulation tab 90%.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because,
and then take it one step at a time, and then build upon that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very hard to like imagining things on what you see, on the next step. It's kind of hard.
I can even do kind of like a what do you call it? A concept, a design concept, and try to draw it out so you can get a better visual of that too.
Okay. See, what I'm envisioning is for design, right? It's just as simple as it's now a project. Okay. On the formulation tab, it's just to identify the buildings. Okay. When you get to design, it's now a project.
Yep.
And I could see the title of that project is FY18 demo design, period, right? Maybe we have this we have the center name in there. So you have the distinction. So that's the title, and then it automatically lists the buildings to be designed, and then it's got a design cost. So that's what I'm imagining. And then when you go to construction, the title is just FY18 demo something.
Yeah. So
With a list of buildings.
yeah. So I mean, from the perspective of using the features that we did for, say, Langley, it's first started off as a request, right? Because this is not really a project, but the eKIFM built it as a project. So it should have started off as a request. The request would list all the buildings. Then once you approve the buildings, then it would go and create a project for, and we can talk about this, but an individual project for each building, and then compile them together as a group of projects, or just a list of items within the project. But the way it's designed today is it's a project, and you want it to have other projects, which I can still do. But they should be individual, unique records that identify that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Because right now it's very difficult. Sometimes a center requests a project that have several buildings.
Yep. All right. So I definitely have an idea.
And if you see Kennedy, they have. I'm sorry.
I definitely have an idea in my head. Like I could draw up a design around it, where it would be a request first, and then it would create the actual projects with all the funding for each individual project.
Okay, so I don't know if I captured that exactly, but it sounded like different from what I was thinking. What I was thinking was when you get to design, it becomes a project.
Yep.
And each center has one project, and they're all gonna be called FY18. That's a fiscal year demo design. Okay, that's the title of the project with a total amount, right? But then it includes several buildings. It may be 1 or 10 or whatever.
Yep.
With individual design costs broken down, and the total is the total. Same as construction. So it's FY10 demo execution or something with several buildings in it, with individual demo cost. That's what I'm. So at any given year, a center, my list, my agency list has 10 demo design projects and 10 demo execution projects.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's,
okay.
Maybe I'm just saying it a little differently, but yeah, that's how I envision it too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, good. Because right now when they ask me for I was just having a conversation with my boss. She asked me, give me a list of your projects for 18, and I said I could give you I have my list of projects, but don't you need list of facilities? So, and after conversation, she needed the list of facilities more so than the project.
Right.
So So okay, all right. So um, what I heard you say is I could mark this up, right, and eliminate the ones that I don't need on this particular section. Um, I'm still gonna be needing scope 1509 info, not here, but on the design tab. But on the formulation tab, I don't need this right now.
Okay.
So I may not need it on a formulation, but definitely something will be needed at the design and or construction tab. So okay. All right. So let me do that. And anything else you want me to do?
No, that should cover it, and I'll start working on the design side, the design piece from my side. I'm almost ready to push over the scoring into stage here real soon. The last
Uh-huh.
the last thing I'm doing is testing the import, the file that you gave us, just to make sure that the formulas are doing what they're supposed to do when I import. But I
Uh-huh.
should know later today where I am with that, and I can send you.
Okay.
I can send you the. Well, I'll move it in between my environments that I have, my two devs that I have, and then once I'm ready to move it to stage, then I'll let you know that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So just to let you know of the timing here, uh, come next week, um, we will be doing a data call, and we do this every year. That means new projects will be coming in for the next year, and Tririga will be very busy again around August, September timeframe. I don't think George didn't give us the date yet, but these are the demo projects and the risk-based projects that are coming up real soon. I'd like to get this new demo tab in time for this data call, and to you that means ready to go around August or late August, early September. So if we could plan around there, that means this new concept that we're talking about and the scoring and the new RPMS data would need to be in prod around that time. Is that too much?
No, this new thing's not too difficult. No, I think, and we're pretty close to done on the other piece. So no, it doesn't look like it's too. We just have to work.
Okay.
The only problem, I'm off next week for vacation.
Ah.
Yeah. So as soon as I come back, we can, and I know you're traveling over the next couple weeks, so that makes it a little different.
2 weeks, yeah.
So we'll have to focus, and we'll have to try to get a document that you can either look at and kind of agree to, so we can keep building against it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. I think for demo we have time. If anything else, if it didn't work out, I'm just gonna go back to the old system.
Okay.
But I really would like to have this simplified, and to me the one that we have is overly complicated. Okay. So the second part to that is I mentioned the risk base. It's been a while since we added new projects in risk base. So I'd like to with all these new things that keep popping up, and I don't understand why. I like to test. I'd like to test the risk base tab real soon. With if I could schedule somebody with the center to make sure that that's up and running the way it should be, the way it should be running. And
so I have a really stupid question, and I don't know if it's possible. Is there any way for us to create dummy accounts so we could test in the stage environment? Say somebody from Ames create an Ames test user, and I know that probably requires a new email address or something like that. But is that even doable?
The dummy account meaning other than real NASA people?
Yeah, because I know it's single sign-on, so you have to be logged into a computer with those specific credentials, right? So there's no way to create like a dummy credential, like a duplicate of you, and then just apply that duplicate to Ames or something.
Um, I don't understand.
So with the way your system works, you have to sign in your credentials, right? Um,
Yes.
uh, and that has to go through the Active Directory and find you. But I'm not sure if you can work with your IT team to say, hey, I need a dummy Ed Carlos account.
Ed Carlos One account
Yeah,
and become a center user.
right.
Let me ask Johnny
Mhm.
if 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 he could give me a second email account.
Yeah, and see,
That's essentially.
and then we wouldn't need to keep bothering someone from a center to go in here and take a look at this stuff. Or we can test in our dev environment because we're not tied to Active Directory,
Okay.
and then just log in as those different users. So we have a couple of options, right? If you want to test in stage, then we would need the second user. If you want to test in our dev environment, then we wouldn't need a second user.
Okay. So if we did it in your environment, and I would be that dummy account, I would then be a center user.
Right. So let me just show you. Let me take the screen back. I actually have to disconnect from the VPN. So hold on. That might disconnect. Yeah. Okay, so what it does is it disconnects me from the call, so I disappeared for a second. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm back, and here in our dev environment, you see how I have, it's gonna show, you can see my screen, right?
That's a bridge.
No, should be Tririga.
Okay, right there. Okay.
Okay, so NASA URLs, and then here's our dev internal. And so it looks just like yours, right? So if I were to log in with your account, which, obviously we don't have your passwords, I could log in with yours because I know the username, but the default password is just password. So I don't need to be on Active Directory to see the menu. And then if I were to go to, let's just say you've got this guy here, David Richardson from, I don't even, Goddard, yep. So if I took his username and then I sign out with yours and just plug in his username and the default password is password, I can get in as him. So we see their portals, we see what they would see when they log in, right? So we could play around as if we were these users once we push the item here. And that way we wouldn't have to depend on them, and we're doing a pre-testing before it even gets to stage.
One option, I just thought about it. So I told you we have several interns here. They are badged. they have their NASA laptops. So we could just add them in stage as center users.
Okay, or that. See, we're coming up with all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we could do any of those.
Okay. There's there's actually four interns that I could give temporary access or access in stage and make them a center user. Okay, that's probably a solution.
Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll go action by action, and we'll see what's showing up and what should be showing up. And then I also have my spreadsheet of the state family. So this is where it gets confusing, and I'll kind of be blunt with you here, right? So this is the state family here for all of the types of records, right? So what this says is this is the state that it's at. So if it's null, these are the buttons that are available. And then that button takes it to the next state of draft. So then from draft, if I went to draft, then these are all of the buttons that are available. And should they be on supplemental funding? Yes or no? Should they be on risk-based? Should they be on? And so we have to put all the different forms that we're working with and identify which button should show up on risk-based, on energy, on EUL, on all of them, and identify that through a matrix. And then does it take it to another state? Will it take it to submission? Will it take it to integration? Will it take it to demo HQPM? And then we start looking at the next state. Does that form does it go to integration? In this case, here, submitted would take it to integration. So then we'd have to go here, integration. And we do this form by form because probably...
and this is only supplemental funding.
Well, no, we'd have to add all of the forms up here, right?
No, I'm just saying what you're showing is just supplemental funding.
This is was my first attempt when only for supplemental funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we got about 9 more or something.
Exactly. So we have to go form by form, and then you'll see here that I never really understood what center updates C and D meant because there's no explanation anywhere. So I don't know, like...
Center update C is center update construction, and D is design.
Okay. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, center request for demo funds, that should only be on demo, should not be on any others. So some of this makes a lot of sense when I look at it, but some of it made no sense at all. And then obviously here's construction and design approval. So yeah, this makes more sense now.
Okay.
But we'd have to go, and you can see that there's 200 different buttons that are available. So we'd have to go form by form to identify which ones actually should be there and should not be there.
Yeah, and I think I could understand that. So and we need to really sit down and figure it out.
Yeah. And I started one, and I don't know what happened to it, but I started with the energy form, and I think maybe I just didn't save my form, but I know I can start one just to kind of give you an idea where it's at. Maybe I go ahead and start with supplemental funding and show you what it would look like when we're finished with supplemental funding, and then I'll start adding the other ones. So I can start working on that too.
Okay. All right. Okay, good.
All right. Gosh, did we need more time? Because I got to work on this template before we start talking about it. So do we need more time today to talk about anything else, or is that all you wanted to cover?
I think that's all I want to cover. Although going back to the risk base, I really think we need to go through that whole risk-based submission of forms, just to make sure that it's working the way it was working. Namely, if the buttons should be available when they're available, or and not available when they should not be available.
Okay.
So I think we need to have another session with somebody from the center or my intern, and get that started as soon as possible. I'm thinking Friday if you guys are available.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do Friday. Let me look at my calendar real quick.
I'll look at my calendar as well. That means I have to get these guys on Friday. Ooh. Brenda and I used to have a Friday meeting, which is now canceled at 9 o'clock. I don't know if that's too early for you.
No, it's not. I do have, however, a standing meeting at 9 o'clock that I usually in, and then I have a 10 o'clock that I have to be in. But
okay.
At, let's see, what time is this? This would be 11:30 your time. I can schedule an hour and a half.
11:30 it is. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Till, let's see, what is that? Till 1 o'clock your time.
That's fine.
No lunch needed.
That's okay. I'm teleworking, so I could eat right there.
But what about your intern? What about your intern? Are we gonna have problems with that?
I'll tell them to have early lunch.
Okay. All right. I'll send out an invite.
Okay.
The risk-based state family.
Okay.
All right. We'll need an intern to log in as a. Actually, you know what we could do? What I'm thinking we could also do, Ed, is well, no, because we need you as a player. I was thinking that maybe we could switch you change your portal and your organization from headquarters to the center. That way you can kind of see what, for your login. But that might be too messy, so let's not. I was thinking I could swap back and forth, but that's crazy. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so need an intern to log in as a center user, and I'll send this invite right away.
Okay, good. All right. So my next actions will be that compliance matrix is ready to import in stage. I mean in prod. Yep. I'm gonna mark up the form of the formulation tab of demo. What else?
That should be it until I send you the testing for
scoring.
Yeah, for scoring.
Okay, all right. And when would I be able to test that?
I'm thinking tomorrow sometime.
Tomorrow? Okay, sounds good. All right.
But I think beyond that, we're in pretty good shape there. And I'll also, my action is to get this this ready with the risk-based, so I know where it's at now, and that way when we go through it, we can identify what needs to be scratched.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Hi, Beth. Can you stay on the line, please?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right, awesome. Just give me a second to. I was going to ask. Yeah. So I'm going to even if you don't need these notes today, I'm still going to send them out just to see how I did.
Okay.
And oh yeah, the other thing. So, would you like for me to become like a dedicated tester as well, just similar to the intern?